We always say on this show, 2 minutes literally can change.
In the heart of New Orleans, where the humidity clings to the neon lights of Bourbon Street, a voice rose above the chaotic clatter of tourists and street performers. Jourdan Blue wasn't just another singer looking for spare change. He was a father fighting for a future. For years, Jourdan performed from dusk until the early hours of the morning, his stage a cracked sidewalk and his spotlight a flickering street lamp. The raw, soulful texture of his voice became a local legend, a hidden gem buried in the noise of the French Quarter. While many saw a man singing for tips, those who stopped felt the weight of a performer who belonged on a global stage. The setup was humble, but the talent was undeniable. This was a man sharpened by the grit of the streets, waiting for a single crack in the door of the industry to let his light through. The journey didn't start in a studio. It began in the dirt. Few viewers realized that the man standing before the AGT judges carried the weight of a prior, invisible failure. Years earlier, Jourdan had auditioned for American Idol Season 20, making it deep into the competition to the top 59. However, in a crushing blow to any artist, his entire journey was left on the cutting room floor, never broadcast to the world. It was as if his talent didn't exist in the eyes of the media. This rejection created a profound tension, the fear that history would repeat itself and he would once again become a ghost in the machine of Hollywood.
Reports suggest that this period of silence nearly broke his resolve, leading to a long hiatus where he retreated back to the safety of New Orleans. The stakes for his AGT audition weren't just about a career, they were about proving that he was more than a footnote. He wasn't just singing for a deal, he was singing to finally be seen. When Jourdan finally walked onto the America's Got Talent stage, the atmosphere in the Pasadena Civic Auditorium shifted. Dressed in a simple, worn denim jacket that paid homage to his street performing roots, he stood in sharp contrast to the polished glitter of the production. The tension was palpable as he introduced himself, his voice humble yet steady. He chose Break Even by The Script, a song known for its soaring emotional peaks and technical difficulty. As the first piano chords echoed through the hall, a heavy silence fell over the audience. It was a high-risk gamble. Covering a massive pop hit requires more than just mimicry. It requires a complete reinvention. The judges leaned in, skeptical but curious. This was the moment where the years of New Orleans humidity and late-night exhaustion would either culminate in a breakthrough or end in another quiet exit. The air was thick with anticipation. The performance didn't just meet expectations, it shattered the room's emotional equilibrium. Jourdan's vocal control was a masterclass in dynamics, moving from a vulnerable whisper to a powerful, gravelly roar that seemed to shake the rafters. Technically, his ability to manipulate vocal fry and head voice created a texture that felt both ancient and modern. The climax of the song wasn't just a high note, it was a release of years of bottled-up struggle. When Howie Mandel stood up and reached for the golden buzzer, time seemed to fracture. The explosion of gold confetti wasn't just a television trope. For Jourdan, it was the physical manifestation of his sidewalk dreams turning into reality. He collapsed to his knees, not out of performance, but out of sheer gravitational weight. The blue resonance had officially arrived, and the viral metrics began to climb before he even left the stage. Success brought a new, predatory kind of pressure. As a golden buzzer act, Jourdan was no longer an underdog, he was the man to beat. The escalation reached a critical point during the quarterfinals when a sudden health crisis threatened to derail everything. Behind the scenes, reports indicated that Jourdan was battling a severe bout of food poisoning that left him physically depleted just hours before the live broadcast. Producers were reportedly concerned, but Jourdan refused to rely on a pre-recorded rehearsal track. He chose Biblical by Callum Scott, a song that demands immense lung capacity and physical stamina. Every breath was a struggle, every note a fight against his own body. The technical impact was visible. He had to adjust his phrasing to compensate for his lack of oxygen. Yet this struggle added an unintended raw desperation to the performance that resonated. In the hyper-competitive world of reality TV, rumors began to swirl about the strategic choices behind Jourdan's song selections. Some industry insiders believed that his management was leaning too heavily into the emotional ballad trope, fearing that he might become a one-dimensional performer. There were whispers that the language fence around his past American Idol experience was being carefully maintained to keep his AGT narrative fresh and untainted. While nothing was officially confirmed, the tension between his raw busking roots and the polished requirements of a Vegas-style show became a central conflict of his mid-season journey. Fans debated whether he should pivot to an upbeat soul track or stay within the lane of the heartbroken crooner. The speculation created a micro-tease for the upcoming rounds. Would he evolve or would he play it safe? The pressure of the spotlight was starting to burn. As the competition reached its fever pitch, the narrative took a sharp, unexpected turn. Most contestants in the finale rely on solo showstoppers to secure the win, but Jourdan's path involved a symbolic full circle.
In a stunning twist, he didn't just perform a cover, he shared the stage with Danny O'Donoghue, the lead singer of The Script, the very band whose song had earned him the Golden Buzzer. This wasn't just a guest appearance, it was a passing of the torch. The technical synergy between the two vocalists was a highlight of the season, with Jourdan holding his own against a global rock star. It reframed him from a contestant to a peer. This moment suggested that win or lose, Jourdan had already transcended the boundaries of the competition. He was no longer a man singing for a buzzer. He was an artist performing his own concert. The underdog narrative had officially shifted into a professional debut. When the final results were read, a shockwave hit the Blue Crew fanbase. Jourdan Blue was announced as the third-place finisher of Season 20. For many, this was a crisis of logic. His viral numbers and vocal prowess suggested a landslide victory. However, the fallout of the vote revealed a complex reality of the AGT voting demographic. While the disappointment was immense, the language of recovery in the industry began immediately. Historically, third-place finishers on AGT often enjoy more sustainable careers than winners tied to rigid contracts. The technical pace of his career didn't slow down. Instead, it accelerated. Within 48 hours of the finale, his social media engagement eclipsed that of the winner, proving that the trophy was secondary to the connection he had forged. The loss wasn't an ending, it was a liberation from the constraints of the show's final prize. Post-AGT life required a rapid adaptation to the professional circuit. Jourdan had to transition from 90-second television snippets to full-length headline sets. His technical focus shifted to stamina management, ensuring his voice could survive the rigors of a multi-city tour. He began working on original material that blended the grit of New Orleans jazz with the commercial appeal of modern soul. This stage of the documentary highlights the impact on the track, the direct correlation between his TV exposure and his ability to sell out venues that he once busked in front of. He wasn't just a talent show guy, he was becoming a recording artist. His debut singles pace on streaming platforms suggested a long-term viability that many reality stars fail to achieve. The grip he had on the industry was tightening, and the technical precision of his brand was being crafted by the best in the business. Today, Jourdan Blue stands as a testament to the power of the second chance. He is no longer the man in the denim jacket on the sidewalk. He is a symbol of resilience for every artist who was once told they were invisible.
His legacy is defined by the Blue Crew, a global community that values authenticity over artifice. The documentary ends not on a high note of a song, but on a quiet moment of reflection back in New Orleans, watching his son Jax play near the very spot where he used to bask. The cliffhanger isn't about his next album, but about the door he has left open for the next street performer with a voice that can silence a city. As the screen fades to black, the message is clear. The resonance of a true gift never truly fades. It only grows louder with time. The voice that once left everyone silent is now the one that the world cannot stop talking about.